Yes, in this particular discussion board post, I'm going to be talking about within Thomas Jefferson's legacy. I'm going to be talking about the legacy he left behind in regards to religion and religious freedom, particularly the Religious Freedom Act that he drafted. Um, but before we get there, I want to talk just a little bit and rehash Thomas Jefferson's religious beliefs because he was kind of an enigma, so to speak, when it came to religion. His beliefs, some of them in particular, changed over time. But starting really from kind of the earliest points of his life, he and throughout his life, he was a devout theist. Um, but I mean, he very much believed in a benevolent creator, a benevolent God. Um, he is quoted. He said, "The God who gave us life gave us liberty at the same time." So you can kind of hear some of those political ideas as well woven within his beliefs. Um, but like I said, his views changed over time. For example, by the end of his life, his views on the afterlife changed greatly, and he would talk to friends and family about seeing others in heaven after he had passed. But he very much rejected a lot of what are foundational ideas to the Christian faith. He rejected uh, the notion of the Trinity. Okay, he rejected Jesus' divinity, though he greatly admired who Jesus was. He rejected the resurrection, atonement, and original sin. He felt original sin to be very unfair, and that a benevolent God, would not create or do some judge people on such a level as that. Um, but however, Jefferson did think Christianity was the best religion to suit a republic like the United States. He had a lot of respect for it in that regard. And then lastly, Jefferson is really well known for putting together the Jefferson Bible. Uh, and that was essentially something he piecemealed together portions of scripture of which he thought truly represented the teachings and the morals of Jesus. And we all know that's not necessarily a positive thing to cut and paste the Bible, but it was a major work of his that he worked on, especially in his later days. Now, looking at kind of his lasting legacy when it comes to religion, it is all surrounded by when he drafted a bill for establishing religious freedom in 1777, and that was in particular in Virginia, and he was highly praised by this. For creating such a document by men like James Madison. But the bill actually failed in 1779 when it was first introduced. The bill would finally pass, though, in Virginia in 1786. Now, kind of looking at what the bill was, it advocated for both freedom of conscience, which was huge for uh, Mr. Jefferson, but also a huge part was separation of church and state. That was very key to Thomas Jefferson and very much the forerunner to the First Amendment or aspects of the First Amendment that we have today. So you can kind of see that lasting impact affecting our lives. And also the protection of religious rights. Something he also firmly believed in is that no person could be compelled to attend any church or support it with taxes. So you can't be forced to do so. Every person is free to worship as they please. And that's something that has been crucial in the United States, especially with the diversity that we have and celebrate as a nation, the fact that we offer such religious freedom. And in many of the colonies saw actually just the push for liberty, the push for freedom from Britain as the end result, but not for Jefferson. Jefferson always saw as that was a means to an end, but he saw that was merely the beginning. Some of these other freedoms, like his bill for establishing religious freedom, was almost more important to him than anything else. And Jefferson very much held this bill as one of his most prized achievements or supreme acts, I guess you could say. He counted the act, as I got from Monticello.org, he counted the act as his supreme contribution, something that he would want on his tombstone. Um, And anyways, that just comes to kind of show that, yes, Jefferson was a man of very different and sometimes confusing religious beliefs, but he very much advocated for religious freedom for this new republic, this new nation that was coming into its own. He did not want to see people stifled by tyranny, let alone from a foreign power, but also at home in a form of you have to serve this God, you have to go to this church, and you have to do X, Y, and Z. He wanted people to feel that freedom and to govern themselves, both politically, but also to govern their own faiths and their own hearts. Thank you guys for listening.